Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Greykowski, creator of the Better Brain Blueprint. So for this Better Brain tip, we're talking about brain inflammation, swelling around the brain. Now the challenge is if you have inflammation long-term around the brain, it can create a whole host of neurological problems. It's been linked to things like Parkinson's, MS, depression, anxiety. So if we have an inflammatory diet, or we're actually ingesting things that are increasing the inflammation process, our body sees these as foreign. And so it creates an immune response. The challenge is we have this thing called a blood-brain barrier. Now this barrier keeps a lot of the particles that can cross this and reduce the inflammation. It keeps it out of the brain. But things like, say, a head trauma, within a few hours after a concussion, they're showing that that you actually start to create a leaky gut. And so a lot of those challenges can create an inflammatory response in the body. With inflammation, our body has to be able to handle it. If we keep ingesting the same things that are creating the inflammation, it will create more and more problems. So here's a simple tip. A lot of our glial cells, microglial cells that are our cleanup, our janitors of the brain, they clean up a lot of the toxins while we're asleep. If we're not getting into a good sleep pattern, it's like the janitors are never cleaning up. You're coming back the same day with the same toxins and the same things, and day in and day out, you get a very unhealthy, untidied brain. So getting into a good sleep pattern, now that we've just changed to daylight savings time, it's darker earlier in the evening. So it's important to make sure that we do need more sleep during the winter time. Our pineal gland and other parts of the brain regulate how much sleep we should be getting for melatonin and hormones. So sleep is a very important thing for not our hormonal system, but our immune system and reducing inflammation. So make sure you try and get into a cycle of getting to bed earlier, making sure that you are sleeping more in the wintertime, and reducing the blue light within an hour or two before bedtime, because that stimulates your brain to stay awake in that wake cycle. So you want to prepare yourself for rest so your body can clean up the untidy parts and make sure you start the next day fresh and reduce the brain inflammation. This is another Better Brain tip from Dr. Bob. Hope you have a great week.